Now, it most certainly wouldn't be Christmas without having to survive something from Black Friday. Let's face it, whether it's this year or 20 years ago, people were trying to survive Black Friday forever, it seems like. And holy hell, do they like to beat the fuck out of each other for stupid things. Furbies, TVs. Back then, TVs were heavier than fuck. Imagine getting hit with one of those motherfuckers. And even video games. Hell, they became fucking flying frisbees if they ripped that shit open. But let's take a look at some games that actually took place during Christmas. Not like the actual game took place on Christmas. Not Christmas just happened, but some games that actually took place on Christmas. Actually, there's only one game that I can really think of that actually took place on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and subsequently thereafter. And it was a pretty good game. And the game happens to be 20 years old. So let's just calm down with the chaos, drop the TV for a second, stop screaming at each other for a minute, and let's play some video games about Christmas. You know, the holiday, which you're supposed to be happy and thankful and give stuff to people, not push people out of the way like these fuckers are on screen. Yeah. Parasite Eve, a game that literally starts you off on Christmas Eve. You work on Christmas. That's gotta kind of suck. Yeah, so Parasite Eve is an amazing game back when everybody needed to have some kind of survival horror game. And this predecessed Silent Hill, but it was, a lot of people were like, maybe it's like Resident Evil. Definitely not Resident Evil. The story, I mean, the monsters were but the story was definitely where it was at in this one. Parasite Eve, essentially, I want to say the story came from, and the game itself came from like a Japanese folklore of something that, you know, someone can alter your genes to make you bring out this alternate beast in there. They talk a little bit about that in the game, not by much. But this game is a survival horror that takes place on Christmas. And for all you feminists out there, yes, your lead character is a female detective. So for everybody who's always saying, hey, there's no girls, female leads, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, we were doing it 20 years ago, shut the fuck up. Okay, thank you. Parasite Eve follows the detective around where you play as her, where you gotta solve the mystery of where all these, you know, the mutated people are coming from. And you do a pretty damn good job at it. You kick ass. It's a great action game. It's a great action RPG-ish. It was a different turn-based battle than I was used to, but I definitely like where you can move around. The ammo was great. For any games that involve guns, it was nice to actually see one done in a JRPG style and not just like a run-and-gun shooter like Resident Evil. So on that front, I fell in love with it immediately. The soundtrack of the game I thought was kick-ass as well. It has an amazing soundtrack, and it takes place in New York City out of all places. Now, what's funny about this is this game came out the same year as that shitty Godzilla movie came out in '98, so New York City went through a little bit of a rough patch. But it was nice to find some places that don't normally get featured in video games in New York City, like Carnegie Hall, the Chrysler Building, and the History Museum. So I thought that was a decent, nice touch of this game. It just takes you to a couple of different places. You go through Central Park, going through there, wandered through different things. You kind of go into the slums. So I mean, it takes you into the places in New York City that most people or most games and movies, they don't really focus on, they don't really care about. So in that front, it was pretty unique for its time. And this game isn't exactly scary, but I love this game, and for being 20 years old, this game is still totally playable and totally worth it. I was kind of disappointed that this game got snubbed on the North American release of the PlayStation Classic, but this is totally one game I really wish they would bring back in full glory.